101. This time I'll show you the basics of Adobe Illustrator. Now, the first thing that you should know about this software is that it works with curves or vectors. What does this mean? That whatever you draw in here, no matter how much you scale it, it won't lose any resolution or turn pixelated. That's the main difference against Photoshop. That no matter how much you scale it, it won't lose resolution. In Photoshop, if you draw something really small and you scale it, it will get pixelated, while in Illustrator, it does not happen. Illustrator works in a whole different way. Although it also has layers, it is more like a way to stay organized, as you can see here. And they're not exactly that important here, because you see, you can rearrange the order of objects which you create, for instance. This object is on top of this, and we want to send it to the back, so we have to right-click on it and arrange and send it to the back. And now, as you can see, it's not overlapping anymore. That's because in the back of it, and they're both in the same layer. But the main tools that you'll be using are the Bezier tools and your arrows. Why? Which are here, both your arrow tools and the Bezier. Why? Because that's how you draw and edit objects. I'll be calling objects to the drawings, shapes, lines, or dots in... I'll be calling objects to the drawings, shapes, lines, or dots. In other words, anything that is in your artboard. This, my friends, this rectangle, this is your artboard. This is where you'll be creating everything. But before starting to draw and create objects and modifying them, let's start by defining the different tools available in your toolbar. Here to the left of your screen, this is your toolbar. This is your toolbar. On top, you have both your cursor or arrows tools, with which you'll edit your object. The main difference is that the black arrow, this one, moves entire objects, and the white one grabs only nodes. These little dots here, these are your nodes, and it works this way, so you can modify your object. Nodes are the little dots that conform and build your whole shapes. As you can see, all of these shapes have different nodes, and by moving them, you can modify the appearance of the object and so. Okay. Next is the magic wand, this one, which selects objects of the same color. It is really useful when you got a bunch of stuff on the same color and then that you need to delete or move. And it works this way. You just select your object, and as you can see, it selects all the other similar objects. For instance, the balloon shaped, maybe the circle ones, or the triangle. Maybe the triangle is not a balloon, but it is also the same color. Oh, but it looks different because I changed the opacity. It's just a matter of things. Let me show you. Here, opacity, we put it at 100%. And there you have it. As you can see, all of them are of the same color. Next, we have the lasso tool. However, this one only selects nodes within the area you marked. For instance, let's do it this way. And as you can see, I selected only the nodes within the area I marked. I marked the whole circle of the little circle, the triangle, and part of the big circle, and we can only move those. Next, we have the Bezier tool. And with this one, you can draw new objects by creating nodes in sequence. For instance, here's my Bezier tool, and I want to make, I don't know, let's just say like an S. Okay, so I click here, and I'm drawing an object. Just by clicking consecutively and following a path. And there. Well, but this is not going to work for this one, just for the sake of the example. Or you can also edit with the Bezier tool existing objects by adding or removing nodes. For instance, you can remove this one, or we can create another node here. See? Then we have the type tool, with which you can write or add text. This is an example text. See? That's pretty much how it works. You can either use it this way, like clicking and writing, or you can set a text area and you can write and it'll keep inside the area, like that. I'm gonna delete this for now. Next two tools are designed to draw straight lines and common shapes such as circles, squares, rectangles, triangles, and so. This one, as you can see, it is used to draw straight lines. It will appear like that because we don't have any color for the stroke, which can be modified here. And if we go and put it, I don't know, black, you can see that it turned into a black line. And we can change the stroke weight, going up or going down. And also we have the shapes tool. If you leave it clicked on, you can change from rectangle, round rectangle, an ellipse, polygon, star, whatever. Let's draw a rectangle for the sake of it. Let's just put it blue for the time being. And a circle. There you go. Next is the paintbrush tool, this one, which will create a line that will follow the cursor. However, it will only create the line, not the actual figure. For instance, if we want to make a circle or some kind of blob circle, do it like this, and you select it, you can see that it's only the line, it's not the actual figure or shape. And you can still edit the line, increase the stroke, decrease the stroke, width, everything else. But in case you want to draw the actual shape, that's what we have the blob brush tool, which allows you to create the actual shape and not only a line. For instance, let's just draw a circle and try to color it. It follows the cursor. I'm sorry, I'm in a mouse, so I'm using a mouse, so that's why it looks like that. And if you select it, you can see that it's not a line, it's actually a shape. Allow me to demonstrate this with a little better. With the brush tool, we can draw a circle and we can fill it in. Well, kind of filling it in, but as you can see, it's only the line. If we modify it, it will modify the line, not the actual shape of it. See? However, if we go with the blob brush tool, and we draw a circle, a kind of a circle, and just go like this, it will turn into the actual shape. As you can see, it's not the line. This is the line, this is the shape. Line, shape. And if we modify this, it will modify the actual shape, not the line. And next we have the eraser tool, this one right here. And as the name suggests, it will erase either the line, the shape, or so. For instance, let's erase something from here, and we erase a line. But if we go somewhere here, we can erase within the shape. You see how it is different? In one, we are erasing the actual line, and in the other one, we are erasing the shape. As you can see, there are many more tools. However, for this basic tutorial, we'll focus on the ones I already explained. And now I will show you how to create a sample flyer using these tools that we've seen, which will turn out something like this. Well, the first step is to create a new file. In this occasion, we'll use one letter size just for the sake of this tutorial. We go to File, New, and let's say sample flyer. We go. You can either choose it for it to be, you can either choose print, web, devices, anything else. Let's just go for print for this one. And the size, letter. Everything seems good. Click OK. And we got a new file with a new artboard of the size of the letter. Just a reminder that I'll be using Illustrator CSX, same as in the Photoshop tutorial. Now we'll make a flyer for the opening of a new shop. We'll use dummy text and generic names. First things first, we need to have an idea of how we want the flyer to look. But for the time being, we'll be using a really simple format with text on front and simple graphics on the back, like this one. We'll start by using the type tool so we can add the text. We click here and we say grand opening. Okay. And we just grab it right here, and when you select it with the black arrow, you'll see that we have these little squares. And you can resize them by pulling them either to the side, up or down, and anything else. However, it may lose its scale constraint. However, if you press Shift in your keyboard while scaling it, it will retain it. Let's leave it like that, and let's change the color. The color can be changed right here, and let's say I want a red, this kind of red. Okay, that's good. Now, here you have the layer section, and here we can put our text on the topmost layer, so all our other graphics can be beneath it. If you can see the layer section, you can go to Window, and where it says Layers, you can just check it. And now I unchecked it, and here Layers, there we go. Now we'll add the text. Next, we're gonna add the content text. Since this is like a sample dummy flyer, we'll be using some dummy text. Let me just copy it from here. A lot of Ellipse will suffice. However, you can just copy and paste it from anywhere in the internet. Copy and paste. There we go. Just resize it here. So we're gonna leave it like that. It's okay. All right, it looks good. Next, we'll add some graphics in the background. I'm thinking to add some balloons, lines, and shapes. For this, we will use the Bezier, arrows, and other tools. Okay, so first things first, in this section, we'll be keeping all of our text in one layer on the topmost. We're gonna create a new layer. We're gonna pull it down, and we're gonna create the background. So the background is gonna be a rectangle. We go to our rectangle tool, click and hold it. Click the rectangle tool, and we need a rectangle for our whole, not our whole artboard, but maybe around this area. Something like, no, it's not gonna be black, no worries. And we're gonna make it something blue, maybe. Now, this is a really saturated blue. I wanted to make it a little more on the light side. So if we want to modify it, we have to go right down here. Double click it, and you get your color palette and your color picker and everything else. Okay, we're gonna put it around the lines of here. Really pale. Kind of. A little bit more color. Damn, there's a lot of cars here. Okay, something like that. Now, let me rearrange this. Let me rearrange this so the text will be here, the title will be here. There we go. Now we're gonna add some other graphics. Let's go over there. Let's go over here. I'm gonna add another layer because this one will be my background layer. Background. This one will be my text layer. This will be my graphics layer. Now I'm gonna be using some circles for this. We're gonna grab the ellipse tool, and yeah, I want them red. So we're gonna be just putting this here. Right now, as you can see, I'm creating a perfect circle. If you just drag it around, it'll be something like this. But we don't want that. For that, we're gonna be using the Shift key while we drag it, so it will restrain the scale to a perfect circle. Something like that. We go to the Selection tool, grab it and move it. We're gonna just put it all around. You know what? Let me just rearrange these things real quick. Scale it upwards. Grab this, move it upwards. And let's rearrange this. You know what? I want this to be in 2 lines, not just one. I'm gonna hit it backspace and enter. Change it to put it over here. Scale it a little bit more. Holding the shift key, of course. And something along those lines. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna duplicate some circles. Gonna click on it, Command C or Control C, Command V or Control V. Oh dear. Okay, so it went. Okay, I'm actually glad this happened. If you put your graphic on top of something else and you cannot grab it because you will be grabbing your text, you can go to the layer and block it. If you block it or lock it, you won't be able to select anything that is in the layer. For instance, this time we're not able to select the text. You know what? And we don't want to select the background too, so we're gonna lock it here too. You can unlock it just by clicking on it again. So let's just center in the graphics layer right now. I'm gonna move it around, scale it a bit, so I can create some little graphics over here. Nothing too big. Pause. Okay. There you go. But I don't want them to be really red dots. So what I'm gonna do is gonna grab it here, and here on top you have a option that says opacity. What it means is how much transparency will the graphic have, or the shape. Let's say I want it around 40%. As you can see, it's really transparent. Remove something else. This one I want it to be 60%. We can even put it on top of it. Hold here. Shift. Important to hold shift when you're scaling it. Removing this and this. There we go. Now this one I want it to be 40%. This one 20%. This one 40%. That's okay. Okay, sounds about right. Now we're gonna make a balloon. We can do it either 2 ways. We can just grab the pen tool, the Bezier tool, and you can just click and start building a balloon. Or you can just click on it and start building a balloon just by dragging it. When you click and drag, you start making a curve here. We can go over here and drag it again. Something around these lines. Something like that. And you close the gap here. And you can just go again with the direct selection tool or the white arrow. You can just click on it and start modifying the nodes. There you go. Something like that. Or you can do also or you can also do a circle. A circle. Grab the white arrow, click it here, and drag it a little bit. You see these 2 handles on top, on each side of it? These handles, what they will do is that they control the curve. As you can see, you can put it longer, smaller, or anything else. However, what we want to do to achieve the balloon shape, we're gonna need this not to be a curve, but to be not to be a curve, but to be a corner. So we're gonna click on it, and right here where it says convert, it says that you can convert any node into an anchor pointer node into a corner or into a smooth curve. And right now it's a curve, so we're gonna be using the corner. Click on it, and as you can see, it turned into a corner. It's still kind of lacking to look like a balloon. What I'm gonna do is gonna grab the node and pull it a little bit downwards. The other one too, a little bit downwards. Grab this one and pull a little bit up. You know what? I'm gonna grab this one over here, this handle over here, and it looks more like it. Not exactly like it, but more like it. There we go. Looks better. Okay. Now we have the top of the balloon. So we're gonna still need the thread or the ribbon, but for that we're gonna be using the pen or Bezier tool. First, we're gonna do the bottom of the balloon. We're gonna click on here, and we're gonna start making this kind of shape. Whoop, 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 and close it. I'm gonna zoom in and do it again so you can see what I did. This is the one that I did, so let's do it again. I'm gonna click it. It doesn't matter where you create it, you can also move it. I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna be using, I may click and drag it while clicking to make a curve. This one, another curve, another curve, another curve, and another curve. And close it. Very important to remember to close your shapes. Now, if I see anything that's out of place or you want to modify it, I can grab the white arrow and just move it over here so we can have freedom to move it as we please. Something along these lines. There we go. Okay. And now we grab it all and put it on top of it. Let's delete this one. Now it's looking more like a balloon. But still we're missing the thread or the ribbon, so we're gonna do it really simple. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna change this time we're gonna make a line, so we don't need the fill color. This is the fill color, this is the stroke color or the line color. We're gonna grab this and put it that we don't want any fill color. Now we'll go to the stroke and say we're gonna have black. It's okay. Now we're gonna make it like this. Here and here, and there we go. Now we have that little thread or ribbon, but I don't want this to be on top of it all. I want this to be beneath. So how we're gonna change it? We're gonna click on it, right click, and where it says arrange, we're gonna put send to back. What it's gonna do is gonna send this as like kind of a layers within the layer. We're gonna put it all the way to the back. There we go. Now it's not on top of it. You know what? I want this to be a little bit more noticeable, so we're gonna increase the stroke weight just by 1 point. There we go. Maybe make it a little longer. There we go. Okay. Now we got a balloon. Oh no, you know what? We're missing something. We're gonna create a reflection on the balloon, but I don't need a stroke for this, and I want it white. Look, there we go. And also in this free transform box, when you click it with the black arrow, what you can scale it horizontally, vertically, whichever way you want, and you can also rotate it. What I'm gonna do is rotate it a little bit on this corner. On the corners, you can rotate it. Whoop. There we go. Something like that. Now, I need this to be like a group, because right now, as you can see, if I move something, it will move only the thing that I'm selecting, not everything. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab it all. You can grab things by just click and dragging. Everything that is within the bounding box will be selected. There we go. And we're gonna group it. By grouping it, we make it a selection or group of things so they will stay in place when you move them or scale them. Right click, group. Now as you can see, it doesn't matter if I just pick this one, it will select everything else. We're gonna put it over here. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. There we go. Over here. Another one that's smaller. Another one over here. A little smaller. But let's just say that in this section, in this part, I don't want the thread or the ribbon, but it's already grouped. What I'm supposed to do, because if I try to delete the ribbon or the thread, it's gonna delete everything else. That's what I'm gonna do. Come on, see. What you can do is one of two things. You can either ungroup it, and then just select it and delete it, but it will ungroup everything else. Or put it back again with the group. Okay, it's a group again. What you can do is double click on it and you will enter the group. As you can see here, it says graphics and you're in the group. So you can select the thread, delete it, double click anywhere else, and it'll still be a group, but you just deleted one of the elements within it. So there you go. That's how you do it. Okay, I want now something else. I want a frame for this whole thing, but I don't want it to be interfering with the graphics or the text. So I'm gonna create a new layer on top of it. Let's name this frame. And we're gonna select the rectangle tool with a red stroke. Let's put it 3. And just gonna grab it and create something like this. Oh dear, that's really thin. Okay, let's pump it out a little bit. I think that's okay. Okay, let's just scale it a little bit. There we go. Something like that. Alrighty. I think I have now all my elements. The only thing that's left to do is to rearrange them so they'll be a little bit more balanced. You know what? Now that I see it, I need to make this a bit there and there. Something around among those things. Okay, so I have the frame, everything is okay. I'm gonna block everything so I don't move anything by accident. Now the text, I think I need to rearrange this a little bit. Put it over here. Maybe scale it a little. There we go. And this one, just put it over here. There we go. Okay, it's coming good. I'm gonna unlock the layer and go to the graphics layer. Unlock it. Now I think I need to move this one over here. Maybe scale it a little bit. I need to put this all within the frame. Doesn't matter if they overlap a little. It's okay. Do you know what? I'm gonna add some other lines here. I'm gonna click my line tool. I'm gonna put it over here like this. Oh, but I don't have a stroke color, so let's grab a stroke color. There we go. A little bit, and 3 points. No, 2 points is okay. And opening, another one for this one. Oh, how I'm doing this? That I'm just dragging and duplicating something. If you hold your Option or Alt key while selecting something, you can see that it turns from black to a black and white arrow. What it will do is that it will turn into a duplicate tool. So what it will do is if you grab this and drag it, and you let go, you will create another duplicate of the thing that you just dragged. So let's just put it, scale a little bit so it will be the whole sentence. There we go. Kind of. Up. There we go. Now it looks better. You can also use your arrow keys to go up and down and kind of tinker a little bit. There we go. I think it's coming fine. Okay. Now I think the background, I don't like this color after all. Let's just select it and change the color over here, way over here. There we go. Now we're gonna make it a little bit paler. Something around that. That sounds good. Oh, and I don't need this one, but I'm gonna leave it for an example. So I think that's pretty much it. Now that it's done, we need to export it. We do it by doing this on the menu on this menu, and we select export. Now we need to export it, and we do it by this menu and to export. We select where we want to export it. It's here and here. The type of file that we want it to be, for instance, PNG, JPG, TIFF, Target, whatever. Let's say right now JPG. And if we want it or not to respect the artboard area. What does this mean? Is that, where is it? Okay. And if we want it to respect the artboard and the artboard area with this little check mark. What it does is that, which means if we want to export only what's inside our artboard, which is this rectangle, or if we don't select that, we'll export the whole workspace, even the things that are outside our artboard, which includes this kind of like balloon shaped thing. And to rearrange it back to the actual size, even though it's possible, it's kind of troublesome, so let's not forget to use the artboard export with this and just say all. Right now we only have one artboard. You can have more, but for the sake of this example, I'm just using one. And that is to be treated in another tutorial. So now we export it, and JPG on export. We selected the quality, yeah, baseline, medium, resolution, I think it's gonna be for print. We need a high resolution. Okay, and it's exported. Let me show you. There you have it. But if you don't export it with the artboard selection, you can see this happens. It will export everything, including this one, and you can rearrange it and resize it, but it's kind of troublesome. So let's just not forget to export it Let's not forget to export it with the artboard. So that's all for today. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked it, click the like button, share if you think this might help someone else, and subscribe for more content. Until then, my name is Mario Navarro, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye!